to Enlightened World Network. Dr. Ruth Anderson and Sue Broome here for messages from your loved ones. We're so glad to have you with us. Now, if you've never joined us for this show, what we do is we get information from you as far as somebody that you have loved and lost and would like to hear from. And I'm putting some directions here in the chat. And so if there's somebody you would like to receive a message from, just put their name here in the chat, and Sue and I will key into their energy. I'm just trying to play here with my restream settings. There we go. And what Sue does is she has a deck of cards that she made with the guidance of her deceased brothers, and she sort of shuffles them, and usually one just drops right out, and that's the message from your loved one. And then she and I just kind of key in on the energy surrounding your loved one, and we share that out to you and ask you about that loved one. So it's really just a beautiful time of connecting in with someone that you've loved and lost. So, Sue Broome, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm super glad that we do this once a month, Miss Ruth.
I am too. So we always start out just tossing around a couple of ideas. So I wanted to share with you. So there was a meditation that Kirolani presented today, and it was for our meditation a day. And it was keying in on the energy of the trees and the mycellular structure of the trees. And she said to bring in the energy of a particular tree that's important to you. It was interesting to me because the tree that came to my mind is one that was in our front yard before our neighborhood burned down, including the tree. So it was surprising to me that the energy that came forward was of a tree that no longer exists. But that was the tree that I was sitting with. And I was remembering with this particular tree, there was one winter storm that up on the tip top, it was a beautiful spruce. I mean, it's huge spruce. And on the tip top, there was an icicle that was hanging down, and it was glistening in the sun. And in this glistening icicle, it was as if I was seeing and feeling an ice fairy. I had never experienced an ice fairy before, so I was absolutely enchanted with this. And it took me back to that time, and it just felt somehow more innocent because I hadn't been through the drama and trauma of losing everything that I owned. But so it took me back into that really sweet, innocent time. And then I started hearing messages because my brain was going, well, yeah, but you're going to burn down. Right. So I was sort of struggling with that, staying in that time. And what the tree was saying to me was that, yes, death will come someday. If you're wondering how this is fitting into what we're talking about, yes, death will come someday. But for now, we love and we thrive and we expand and we soak up the sun and we breathe. And we're one with the universal divine. This is our time in the sun. It's our place in the world. And become all that you can while you're here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. What a message for us to sit in today. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as soon as you said that the tree burned down and it's not there anymore, and I'm like, well, but it is. So two things. It's almost like when it burned down, its ashes got spread.
Yeah.
So it's energy, as well as the root system. Because I'll tell you, how many times have you taken down a tree, even, like I have where my old grapefruit and tangelo trees were, And one was burned out and the other one was just cut down to the quick, right down to the ground. And there's still every once in a while, there's a little sprout that'll pop up because the root system is still there. And who knows how long that's going to go on and how far the root system goes. So it's like the death of someone, of a person, is, yes, it seems like their trunk is no longer in front of you, but their memories, the thoughts, the feelings the emotions that come to you, that you feel when you think about them, when you are in those quiet moments and you might see a butterfly or a hummingbird, and you think of them. It's like that's their root system popping up and saying, I'm still here. Or the ashes that are getting spread on the wind. So that's a very beautiful message, Ruth. And it makes so much sense. Even logically, it makes so much sense.
Well, and also I think that part about embracing your time in the sun.
Mhm.
Don't let a day go by without really living. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
you have to go out and do anything crazy, but just be aware of your aliveness and soak it up.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Live. It's like live each day.
Yeah.
And the chimes agree. I don't know if you can hear my chimes, but they've been talking up a storm.
Yeah, mine are too. I don't know if you can hear mine. Mine are answering to yours in response.
I can't hear yours, but I'm sure if I listened, I could.
Yeah. Linda, we're glad that you're here with us. If you would please give us a last name for Nick, that would be really helpful. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, we're in December. The holidays are upon us. We've already gotten through Thanksgiving, and some people celebrated big, and some people just ignored the day as if it was just any other day. Thoughts, Sue, on the holidays and loss and grief?
I look at it as bring your loved ones into the holidays, however you want to remember them. And whether that's setting a table, setting a space at the table, or lighting the candle, or even just holding hands with everybody at the table and saying something they remember, or some sweet thing about, grandma who passed away and in the last year or the last couple years, and bring them into the holidays as much as you want. But I think the people that don't, that say, you know what, they're dead, they're gone, they're buried, move on. I I think they're doing themselves a disservice, if that makes sense, because it's shutting themselves off for the love that is continuing in their lives all around them, but they're just unwilling or not ready to. Because yes, some people might be, it's like, oh, whatever. But some people, I think some people truly are afraid because they think that they will start crying and they won't ever be able to stop. And for people to know that it's okay to feel those feelings and just allow that flow to happen, whether it's the flow of tears or the flow of silence, to allow it to happen. Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense. And I'm just thinking about my own family. We grew up across the street from a church. And so that was our family church. And my parents sang in that choir for 52 years. And every Christmas Eve, we would trudge across the street. We always had snow, which is why I would say trudge across the street. And I would watch my parents sing all of the Christmas songs from sitting in the front row of the balcony. That was our spot to watch our parents. And so my parents are gone, but every year we still take our grown daughters now, and we still sit in the front row of the balcony and we watch the choir, even though all the faces have changed. I think maybe there's one that still is hanging in there that we recognize. But it's always such a poignant, bittersweet,
Mhm.
but somehow it's also healing to our hearts, because then we remember, and I can hear, boy, when they sing those songs, I can hear my mother's voice singing alto, and I can hear my dad's voice singing bass because I heard it so often.
Mhm.
And it just makes me feel better because I'm holding them close.
Mhm.
And it is sort of healing. And yes, sometimes there's tears, but it's not tears that overwhelm me.
Mhm.
I think it's tears of gratitude for what we had. So yeah, I completely understand that.
Yeah, and tears are healing. I mean, and just, I'll just say from a physical standpoint, it's like the flow of energy is coming out. So if there's any blockages in your tear ducts, just from that standpoint alone, but it's when we hold back, think about a beaver damming up a river.
Mm.
Instead of letting the river just flow, well, the beaver's damming it up and damming it up and damming it up, and all of a sudden there's no flow coming. Okay, well, then a big rain comes and all of a sudden there it goes. So the flow is, the tears are part of the flow.
Yeah. Well, and I know some other people go, no, it's just too painful to do that tradition. So I'm not going to do that, which is, of course, an option.
Mhm.
But sometimes doing the traditions actually feels a little better, even though it hurts. Yeah, we can continue talking about the holidays in a little bit, but Linda, Michelle would like to hear from Nick Lang.
The soft breeze I'm feeling. I'm not actually feeling it's, but it's almost like there's like a soft wind, soft breeze, and it feels like it's got music on it. It's funny. It's like I'm seeing musical notes. All right, let's see. Nick. There are no words. Oh, that makes sense. There are no words. How many times do we feel that it's like I can't find the words to express how I truly am feeling. It's almost like those are the times that we really need the telepathy to kick in, so we can just have the other person feel the feelings that we have going on. It feels like there's an immensity to the love that the two of you share. And I say share, not shared, because I feel like it continues, but there is an immensity. And it is hard to express in words. And those are the times to just close your eyes and just allow yourself to feel, and just feel into the expression of love that the two of you shared. whatever that is, whether that's doing something that you did together or whether it's holding hands and sitting, quietly together or going for a walk in fresh snow. But yeah, the word immense love is what I'm getting for you, Miss Linda.
So Linda, what I was seeing was this gentleman, in spirit form, we can come across at whatever age we want to be, right? A lot of spirits, when we look at them, seem to be in about their 20s. It just 20s, young 30s, it just sort of seems to be a sweet spot. And what I'm seeing is a young Nick Yang in about 20s, but he seems so surprised that we're connecting in with him. That I'm getting a lot of surprised, like, oh, oh, okay. Uh, I'm also getting lighthearted and laughter, just like at least in the ethereal realm, it looks like he's enjoying himself. And we also know that in the ethereal realm, they can be doing whatever they want to be doing. They can create whatever environment they want. But he seems to be lighthearted and doing well. So if you ever worried about, oh, how is he? Is he miserable in the afterlife? He's not miserable in the afterlife. The other thing that I'm seeing is snapshots. Like there's framed photos, and it's you and him in previous incarnations. I don't know, Linda, if you believe in past lives or other lifetimes. I do. And what I'm seeing is that you and Nick, in whatever form that was, have been together several times before. And sometimes that makes us feel an even stronger connection to that person here in this 3D realm. Sue, anything else? Anything coming to mind?
Yeah, Somewhere in Time. Did you ever see that movie?
I don't know. Remind me what is.
It had Christopher Reeves, the one of the original Supermans. He was the guy in it, and it was set. Excuse me, it was set in a place in northern Wisconsin, where they had this huge hotel, and he worked on sending himself back in time. And he met, oh, and I'm getting such chills. He met the love of his life. And so and that they connected that way. And yeah, Somewhere in Time, it's total, it'll make you cry for sure, but it's a total love story, and it's that's what it made me think of. And I think that's the different lives that you were talking about. I think that's where the immense love is coming from, that it feels like.
Yeah. Linda, it would be interesting for us if you would just write in the comments what your relationship with Nick was in this lifetime. And if anything that we said sort of hits home for you. So thank you. We've got Julie Ann Guthrie, and then we've got Stephanie Stafford. So let's go on to Julie Ann.
Hey, Julianne.
Okay, Julie Ann said, would love to receive. Okay, I'm going to go back to Linda for just a second. She said, interesting, Nick was my son. What you are talking about sounds like an old boyfriend, Mike. Linda, can I say to you, maybe, who knows, right? But in these other lifetimes, he could have been a boyfriend. You could have been the husband. I mean, he could have been your mother. I mean, there's so many different possible connections that you could have been with him. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm wondering, is Mike alive? Because when I key into Mike's energy, it's different than what I was feeling. Actually, it just feels heavier, more grounded. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. It just feels more intense. It's a different kind of love, is all. It's just a different kind of love. Yeah. So, okay. So I don't remember what I asked Linda. Did I ask if he's alive or did I ask if he passed?
You did
So,
about if Mike is alive, that's what you
oh,
asked.
okay. Because she said no. So I'm guessing Mike is not alive. Yeah. Yeah, it feels different. But the Mike versus the Nick, it just feels different to me. So are you getting any kind of information on that?
I'm not feeling it's strange because I'm not feeling that, though it makes sense to me. So that makes absolutely no sense. Um, it, I, there was definitely an intensity there that is different. And maybe it's just that there was a lot more karma that needed to play out this lifetime with those two.
And Linda just said that with Mike, he's passed and never got to love me the way he wanted. And that might be what some of that heaviness that I'm feeling is because it is, you would use the word intense with Nick. This is intense as well, but in a different way. It's kind of weird. I feel it very strongly. And I would not surprise me at all if Nick and Mike soul-wise know each other and that they've been in your people group several times. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay, we're moving on to, and thank you, Linda, for that. Julianne Guthrie Smolson would love to receive a message from Harry Smolson, or maybe another distant relative if you have time. And Linda Michelle is feeling loved as well. You should, Linda, because you are loved, very loved from afar. Absolutely. Harry Smolson.
This card fell on the keyboard. All right, Harry. I love you more than you know. So this is it's what's interesting is it feels like Harry is putting a spotlight on you, Julianne, and I'm not sure what the spotlight is all about, but it almost feels like if I were to hold the card upside down, how the light shines and then it expands underneath it, it feels like the spotlight is on you. I also feel like you need to soak up the love. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to, it's not quite bask, but allow yourself to feel the love. Almost like you're putting on a warm blanket around your shoulders on a chilly day. Allow yourself to feel the love coming from Harry. That's what I'm getting.
Interesting. Because what I'm getting is echoing that. But really, what I was getting was this cigar smoke. I don't think it's a pipe, cigar, cigar smoked room where it's like in the movie Casablanca, was there ever a scene where there was, I mean, it's all black and white, and everything I'm seeing right here with Harry is black and white. But like you walk into a room where a bunch of people have been smoking cigars and the room is heavy with smoke. And so it's almost kind of hard to see the faces. So that's what I was getting. And also an old photograph. So it feels like fatherly energy. Don't know what the relationship was here in this lifetime, but it feels like a father's love or a grandfather's, like you had just walked into the room where grandpa or dad was smoking the cigar. And then what I was seeing was him as an old man, putting like a blanket around your shoulders, and you are also an old woman.
Mm.
So again, I'm getting other lifetime energy that carries forward into this lifetime. Yeah, very loving, very, very loving. Yeah.
Like the old couple that's sitting on the front porch in their rocking chairs, holding hands.
And Julianne's mother smoked. She said, "That's my mother. My mother smoked. It's awful." Interesting. Yeah. But so much love
Mhm.
for you there. And love that lasts several lifetimes, not just one. You know, it's funny because when you were saying that the smoke was awful, that that's not the feeling that came through as I was seeing this. It wasn't like, oh, heck, back. It was actually sort of a comforting rather than toxic, if you if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And you said both pipe and cigar. Which one
I
was it?
said I don't think it's a pipe. I think it's
Okay,
cigar. Yeah.
okay. Because what's interesting is pipe smoke. My dad smoked pipe, and whenever he would first light it up, it always smelled so good. You know, the different kinds of tobacco.
Yeah.
And of course, that was pure tobacco. It's not like in a, I don't know what's all in a cigar, but like cigarettes, it's, you know, who knows what's all in there, but
Right.
with tobacco or with a pipe, it was pure tobacco. So, and for some reason, cherry,
That's the one I was thinking of when you said pipe. Yeah.
yeah, and that's it seems very strange that tobacco would have cherry, but yeah, there was always such a good feeling with pipe smoke for me.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you break up with a gentleman and then you smell his cologne and it's like, oh, you know, the olfactory senses take you right back in to those memories.
Yep,
Yeah.
because they're near each other in your brain. That's why a scent can kick off a memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because they're right next to each other, working their magic.
Yeah. Yes. When I went through my divorce, I used to wear my husband's cologne so I could smell it, even though I was the one that broke up with him. Go figure. Yeah. Julianne said, the smoke I am smelling is not normal cigarette smoke. It is more like pipe or cigar smoke. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Stephanie. Oh, Harry was her
Stephanie,
father. Okay. Julie says Harry was my father-in-law. I could tell it was somebody older. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that. Stephanie Stafford. Good day, ladies. Can you connect with my son who passed away this past May? A car hit and killed him while he was on his motorbike. Oh, Stephanie, I'm so sorry. And my son's name is Tim. So, Stephanie, your first holidays without him. And that brings up a whole nother layer of pain.
Yep, the year of first,
Yeah.
which I know, Miss Stephanie, I know you're familiar with the year of firsts. Okay. I will sing you a song. I don't know if he was a singer, but you know, like when we first started, there was music that I was seeing, so maybe it was him coming through already. But you know what's interesting? I don't know if you can hear that bird. That bird just started
Mhm.
as soon as I pulled this card, because that bird wasn't going off before. So Steph, this is, yeah, you're gonna hear something that it's gonna remind you of him, or it's gonna be a message from him, whether it's a bird singing, whether it's the chimes going, whether it's somebody singing a song, or whether it's you know, playing an old CD of his, bringing back memories. And you'll hear it, but other people will also hear it. So I feel like, yeah, it'll be, you know how when you hear something and everybody, you look around and kind of see, is everybody else realizing that that's a message from him? And nobody's acknowledging, or maybe one person, and they might give you a look, and you both kind of share that secret. It feels like that. It feels like there's going to be something that you're going to hear, and there might be nobody else in the room or one other person in the room, but they're going to know that it's a message from him. So I will sing you a song, whether it's a song or something else, Miss Steph.
Remember when I said spirit can present itself at whatever age? And Tim, for this time, was representing himself as a young boy, like maybe 3 or 4. Doesn't mean that that's how he is in the ethereal realm all the time, but that's how he's presenting to me right now. But I'm seeing that he's fun and enjoying life and such sweet memories with you of when you made him happy and he made you smile and you were proud of him. It's this beautiful little snapshot in time of the love that you shared with him and the fun that he had with you. And it's as if the message is, this Christmas, remember me that way. Try not to sit with the loss of him being gone, but the beautiful, sweet memories of what you shared with him and the love that you two shared together. As hard as that is. Yeah.
So, and what I'm seeing as you're saying that, Ruth, is it's almost like, you know, if you decorate a Christmas tree, when you pull out the decorations and you're putting the different decorations one at a time on the tree, it's almost like each decoration has a memory. Oh, this was, you know, when this was 10 years ago when we were all together, or this is, you know, when all the kids were little and they made their first ornaments. It's almost like that, pulling out all these different memories and sharing the story. This was when this happened, and this was when this happened, because that's what I'm seeing is the stuff is putting each ornament on the tree with that special memory. Very cool.
Well, and what comes to my mind is you could even do a little journal about memories with him. And as you think of things, just jot them down. I guess in my own mind, sometimes I'm afraid I'm going to forget some of those special memories. And if I write them down, then not only can I go back and read it, but just for me, the act of writing something kind of brings it back more into my own mind.
Yeah. And you might remember more things to add
Right.
to it.
Kind of watch them like a movie in your own head, you know? Yeah. But it's funny because this is definitely not about when he was older and disagreements you might have had or difficult teenagers. It is not that at all. It is just the pure love and fun that y'all had when he was little. Yeah. Or at least how he remembers being little. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Anything else on Tim there for you, Sue? Okay. Ashraf had a question. I don't think that this is the forum for it, but the question is, what are the signs and differences between 3D and 5D? So I'm on Enlightened World Network. There are so many different videos about the different dimensions. So I would probably tend to send you there or even to Google. But unless, Sue, you wanted to add something along those lines.
The only thing that I'll say is in the 3D world, we look at things so very black and white. As in you and me, as in this and that. And I think 5D is more about one love. There's whether Ruth says this and I say this that are totally opposites, but then there's so many things that we are saying the same thing. We come together and we have agreements, and I think 5D is looking for the agreements, whereas 3D is looking at the differences.
Interesting. That's well put. Thank you. We don't have any other folks wanting a message right now, but one of the things that you wanted to talk about is how when things are different than they used to be. Can you put context around that?
So when you have someone in your life, whether it is a parent, a spouse, a child, and when I say someone, I'm really referring to someone that's you live in the same household, because if it's a different household, it's there's differences, there could be, but not quite as many. So it could be either, but more so within the same household, where maybe one of the someone has an illness or something, maybe they had an accident or something where they are not the same as they used to be. They need much more care than they used to. They're unable to do things in whatever capacity that means. So maybe it's falling upon you to be the caretaker of that person versus you used to go out and do things together. Your life isn't the way that you expected it to be. And yet this person and the love that you share is still here. So looking at ways, it's going to be a different way to have your holidays, but looking at ways to not forget them or not treat them so differently, but to remember the love that you have with that person. Because they are still here. I don't know if I'm even saying.
No, that makes sense. It seems to me along those lines that the greatest gift of grace that you can give to somebody is to just accept them where they're at. and let go of what it used to be and let go of those expectations that it will always be that way, because it won't always be that way. All of us are getting older. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. I'm certainly not the same person I was 5 years ago. So just to hold each other in grace for who we are right now.
Mhm. Yeah. Holding them in grace and accepting where they are. And allow yourself to release any guilt that you might have or frustration that you might have that they aren't the way they used to be.
Well, and hold grace for yourself that you're not the same as you used to be.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, none of us are going to get through this lifetime without some change or without some decline.
Mhm.
None of us.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about unmet expectations and our disappointment because of unmet expectations, it's typically because either we don't want things to change, if we could just freeze this moment in time, which won't happen, or because we want things to change and they're not changing, right? Either way, it's our own unmet expectations that are disappointing us. And I
Yeah, those
think,
expectations.
I know. And it's heightened during the holidays because, we've got the Hallmark movies going on, or, the commercials that, make you tear at the Clydesdale horses or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And all that does is set up expectations that none of us are going to have, frankly.
Well, that's a good point because it is Hallmark in so many ways. So
Yeah.
even look at if there's an emotion that's coming up, look at it as, is it really something from that I'm feeling, or is it an overwhelm of the Hallmark or of everybody else feeling that Hallmark that's coming at us? So look at it also that from that perspective. Is it truly my emotion, or is it getting mixed up with the Hallmark? And let's tease out the Hallmark and get down to me.
Right. I have talked to so many of my friends this year that are struggling with, do I put a tree up? Do I go to the basement and get all of my decorations? What if I don't decorate the house to the extent that I typically have? What if I what if I don't and my daughter comes over and she's disappointed? And it is just so funny how many people I know who are going through that. One of my dear friends, literally, I'm not making this up, has like 50 bins of Christmas decorations. And she's gotten rid of a bunch, right? I mean, this is her area of, I'm going to say it, hoarding. But and she said to me last night, I just kind of want to go get a tree that's about 3 feet tall, throw some white lights on it and call it good. And it's like, okay, do. If that's what this feels like for you this year, do it. It's fine. It's actually great because you're listening to yourself and what's important to you.
So you want to hear something funny? Uh, so my mail typically comes around noon. And I knew there was a package coming. I thought it was from my brother because it's a small town in Wisconsin. It's like, I don't have anything coming from that way. It's got to be from him. Well, so there's a package today, and it's like, okay. So it's this long package, foot and a half, 2 feet long, skinny. It's a Christmas tree. And it's what it is white filaments and it's got a solar attachment. And I don't know what it looks like yet because I just set the solar thing outside, so I called him and I'm laughing and I said, thank you for the Christmas tree. And he goes, well, I didn't know if you had a tree. It's so funny because I haven't put up a tree since a long, long time. But he said he's got one at his house and at his girlfriend's, and they got 10 inches of snow. And he said, and it's still standing outside, so. So, but yes, my tree's gonna be about 1.5 feet high. I don't know what colors it's gonna be, because right now it's just white filaments.
Yeah,
The solar's charging outside.
that's fun.
Because I'm gonna charge it and then I'm gonna bring it in here, because it's like, if it's outside, I won't be able to see it, so I'm gonna enjoy it inside.
Yeah, do you have a window that gets a lot of sunlight?
Well, yeah, back here, but I just have it sitting on the porch.
Yeah,
But I don't look outside the window at night.
right.
So that's why I got it charging and I'll just bring the charger back in and have it so I can see it.
That's a sweet gift.
It is, it
Yeah.
was just so funny that you're talking about trees.
Yeah. Well, and I think as a single person too, it's harder to get excited about going through all of the drama of getting the Christmas decorations out. I mean, just like it's harder to make a full dinner. It's similar to that. But yeah, I think it is important though, if the decorations were important to you, that you still carry forward just even if it's just one tiny little thing, just to remind yourself, oh, that's Christmas. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I have one, maybe 2 boxes of Christmas stuff. And it's the stuff that I do really like. And one thing that I typically do get out every single year is I have Christmas mugs. And they were these, from the dollar store, but they're cool mugs that have snowmen on it and, ice skating and stuff. And it's just makes me smile in the morning.
Yeah. Lovely.
Mhm.
Lovely. Yeah, the holidays can be tricky, whether you've lost anybody or not. But yeah.
Yeah, this year, because my neighbor Connie
Mm,
passed away in October, so, and her daughter and her boyfriend are back. At least they're starting their trek back tomorrow, I think, from Colorado. So they're leaving the snow, coming to the sun.
I get it.
Yeah. And they still don't know what they're gonna do, but it's gonna be, like we were talking with Stephanie and her son, this is gonna be their year of firsts without Connie.
Right. Right. I'm so I don't know if you remember, my mom passed away about 6 days before Thanksgiving, several years ago. And just the thought of having to do anything that looked like Thanksgiving was completely overwhelming. And I said, nope, I can't do it. If y'all want to, I said to my family, if y'all want to go somewhere and do something that looks like Thanksgiving, you guys go ahead. But my heart cannot do this year. So we were fortunate. We went out of town and we just pretended like it was any other day and just ignored the whole thing. And I would imagine that there's some folks here that need to do the same thing with Christmas, and it's fine. It's great. It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. It's because if it feels right for you, then it's right. Because you might you might feel the same way next year, but then again, you might not. And it's okay. It's don't allow yourself to dam up that river, allow it to flow. And if that flow is, I ain't doing nothing this year, no,
Yep.
I'm gonna sit, or you might sit and watch Hallmark movies all weekend and just sob up a storm. Yay, have at it.
Yep. Or sit and watch Star Wars all weekend and completely not do the Christmas. Darlene said it's her first holiday without her dad. Yeah, I know. And Andrea said, good afternoon, ladies.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, darling. Hello, ladies.
Darlene, it, here's what I'm getting with your dad. When I look at, this first year without your dad, I'm seeing a picture of him and some Christmas garland right nearby. So, if you have like a fireplace mantle, or it's like he wants to be part of the celebration. Like, don't leave him out. Don't just bring him in, bring his picture in. And if you're putting decorations up, put it around and bring him front and center because that's where he feels like he wants to be.
It's funny because Rich next door, so this was the second year. And it was right around Thanksgiving that he passed. And his wife's birthday is right around Thanksgiving. So this year was 2 years. But it was him that liked the little red truck stuff.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And there are so many little red trucks in her yard right now. It is totally, Rich is there. I mean, she's got the stand out on it's a little metal thing, little red truck. She's got one of those flags that hangs on the side of the house, little red truck. There's the little one out in the backyard, little red truck.
So cute.
So Rich is absolutely there.
And she's bringing his memory back in and she's enjoying doing that.
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful. Well, I know it's time for us to go. Sue, is there anything else that you wanted to share before we say so long for the 2025?
No, just love your people. Love your people when you're spending time with them, whether they're still here or not. Love your people. And whatever that means to you, and let yourself be okay and release those expectations.
Yeah.
Be okay with wherever you are.
Yeah. And Linda, we need to head off for now, but we'll be back in January, right, Sue? We're doing this for 2026.
Yes, let me see if I can find, well, it's the second Monday, January 12th.
Okay. Come on back, Linda. Come back January 12th and we'll put in an ear to Hank. Yeah. Andrea says, bless you both. Thank you for all you do. Andrea, thank you for showing up. We so appreciate you. And Darlene and everybody else who has been on with us today. Darlene came to us via Terry Angel, so that's how she knows Enlightened World Network. Happy holidays to all of you. Yeah.
Yep.
Such love. All right, y'all. Take good care. God bless. Happy holidays. See you soon.